So data and related technology. Okay, so I could say database is a data related technology, right or wrong? Agreed? And also data warehousing technology, something called informatica, okay, as a data related technology. SAP BIBO, which is related to the business intelligence, data related technology. Tableau, visualization tool, data related technology. Power BI, it's a visualization technical tool, okay, data related technology. MSBI, data related technology. Data science, data related technology. So these are all that I could consider the data related technologies. Agreed, all of you guys? So but I want you to understand something very much from the core. Okay, so if you ask me like how exactly that we need to know something from the core level, okay, I wanted to go ahead from the basics and from the scratch. Okay, I know that many of you might know about this four-letter word called data, but still, if you wanted to make a refresh of what exactly the prerequisite stuff that we require and all, so definitely we are required to go ahead from the scratch. What do you say? Shall we go ahead from the scratch or from this from here on? Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, from the scratch then. I'm going to erasing off everything. Let us forget about it. Is not about the Tableau. It is not about anything else that we are going to discuss right now. Let us discuss from the very scratch, that is data, a four-letter word. Okay, when we are talking about the data, definitely we need to know a little bit about the history of data. Okay, right or wrong? When we are talking about the data, so guys, I'm going to list out each and everything that I'm going to discuss with you right now in this notepad. So first, let me just go ahead and save this notepad right now. Okay, Tableau intro. Let me make a Tableau intro, something like that. Okay. So at the end of the session, we can understand what are the underlying entities of the Tableau. Okay. So before we are going to get on to the Tableau, we need to first understand something from very scratch, and thereon what are the prerequisites for the Tableau in order to become a Tableau developer. Okay, and what are the supporting technologies and what are the competitors in the market for the Tableau tool. Okay, so data. Regarding data, the very first thing that we need to understand is history of data, right? So when I'm talking about the history of the data, the very first thing, during the earlier days, I'm asking you how exactly that we used to store the data, guys. How we used to store the data in our earlier days. We used to store the data in a physical format, right or wrong? Okay, that may be on the papers, or that may be on the rock, or that may be on any, whatever the way that we are trying to store the data, but we are storing the data in a physical format. Agreed? And now, number two, once the emergence of the technology, okay, once the emergence of technology, we have started using electronic spreadsheets, right? Right or wrong? And thereon, we have understood that it is not much, you know, progressive, and also it is not much efficient Hence, we went ahead with the DBMS technology. Okay. What do you mean by DBMS technology? Guys, database management system. Okay. Number 4. Once after this DBMS was introduced, we have something called RDBMS. What do you mean by this RDBMS? Relational Database Management System. Understand? So now here, when I talk about something called DBMS, how exactly the data is stored, guys? The data is stored in a table format. Okay. Data. So let me write the same thing over here. Data is stored in table format. And number 2, see whatever that's, what do you mean by a table format, guys? Anyone? Rows and columns, right? Later on, whenever the RDBMS model in place, what exactly that we have got by exactly that we have introduced this part for relation between the tables. Okay, are you good so far? Any questions? Now, then thereon, there is something called ORDBMS. Okay, see, I'm asking you the question. The data is stored in the tabular format, something like rows and columns. Okay, and why we need a relation between the tables again? Let us see an example, guys. Let me just open an Excel sheet. Okay, so I'm going to show you. Let me just insert a table. See, this is a table. Okay, and here is my another table. And here is my another table. I have 3 tables here. Okay, now the first table name is customers. Second table name is products. Okay, third table name is sales. Okay, so how I am making this particular column? So customer ID, okay, customer name, customer city, something like this, and product ID, product name, and product price. Okay, now sales ID, customer ID, okay, and price, I mean product ID. So if you can take a look at this one, guys. So I'm going to ask the questions, guys. Please do concentrate on this one. Okay, sale amount. Okay, So now I'm asking you guys, see, here you could see the first table, which is called customers, is having one column called customer ID. Okay. And the second table, which is called the products, which is having a product ID. And the third table, which is having sales ID, customer ID, and product ID here. And finally, we have a sale amount. Okay. So we can see the relation. Can you please tell me, I'm asking you a very pure question, that can you please tell me which tables have a relation here? Guys, which tables that you could see a relation here? Any more? Any more people? Exactly. Exactly. The sales has a relation with the customers and the products. Okay. Understand, guys, all of you? We have the relation between the sales and the customer, sales and the products. Understand? So here, these kind of relationships made at the level of RDBMS system. Okay. So now, can I ask you one more question? I see like many of you have answered this question. And now, why we are trying to use only the customer ID? Why are we not using a customer name? Why are we are using a product name instead of product ID over there in the sales table? Can anyone tell me this part? Because it is unique, you're saying. Okay, let me tell you. No. Okay, then hold on. Let me tell you, the customer name and the product name is very much unique, that I could say. It is very much unique. It is very much unique as something just like an ID, customer ID. Okay. So I have a unique constraint on this particular column. Okay. So that is what I'm asking. Say I have a unique constraint on this particular columns, on customer name, on product name. Now, can you please tell me why I can't place customer name, I mean C name and P name here instead of using IDs generally in any of the environment? Generally, this is how that we would follow, okay, using the customer IDs rather than using the names. Can you please tell me why we don't prefer to have the names as a foreign key? Anyone? If you can tell me this answer, anyone can tell me this answer, guys? Very good, Maharshi. Maybe you might have attended my earlier session. Thank you. Exactly. So here the thing is, the character level data which is being held by this character name, I mean a customer name and the product name will hold the huge space, and hence the following relation table will definitely hold the more space. Hence we do not use the character type of the column. Instead, that we will use the numeric type of the column name. Okay, it is better and efficient use of the storage. Okay, now let me just go back to the our previous stuff. So guys, so physical electronic spreadsheets and DBMS and RDBMS, and now it is ORDBMS. ORDBMS means object relational database management system. Understand? Hi Vijay Mishra. Okay, so see, now tell me, when I'm talking about these things, ORDBMS means nothing but Object Relational Database Management System. Whenever a table is recognized as an object, whenever a weave is recognized as an object, okay, and whenever a synonym is recognized as an object, then we could call a relation again between all these objects. We could call something called a object relational database management system. So what are the examples of this kind of technology, guys? Oracle database, Microsoft SQL Server database, MySQL database, and then what? DB2 database, okay, Postgres SQL, okay. All this kind of stuff can be considered into the RDBMS databases. Okay, so guys, here dealing with the RDBMS databases, okay, is all about working with these kind of databases. And now, so as the data which is being used or utilized for the analysis nowadays is a very huge data. Okay, the data at this present situation, since from the past decade, okay, since from the past decade, the data that is being generated, whether it may be the reason for the IoT devices, or whether it may be the reason for lower electronic prices, okay, the data is getting generated in the very huge amounts of data. So hence, in order to handle that big data, we have already have something called a big data technology in place for the application level. Okay, big data technology, which is a field of study. Okay, big data technology holds a couple of technologies like Hadoop, Scala, Spark, Hive, Mongo database, Cassandra database, something like this. Okay, and see, all these things, individual things, can be considered as individual big data technologies. MongoDB is a big data technology. Cassandra is a big data technology. Why we are calling that as a big data technologies? Because they are specialized in dealing with the huge amount of data which is being generated. I hope that you all understand this point, which is very important, guys, because these are equipped with the way that it can manage the big data. Okay, so huge amounts of data, so hence they are called as NoSQL databases. Okay, databases, these databases are generally schemaless, guys. These databases are schemaless, and not only that one, these databases will process very fast. The data processing will be faster processing, fast processing of data. Okay, so what do you mean by NoSQL then? NoSQL. What do you mean by NoSQL? So guys, NoSQL means not only SQL. What do you mean by SQL? Structured query language or SQL query language. Understand all of you till now so far? Okay, I'm going to ask the questions at the end of the session. Okay, at this end of the session, we will be discussing some question and answers on the topic that we have discussed so far in this today's session. Okay, now we understand what exactly the history of data, and what is the present condition of data it is being generated. And we know that whatever the data it is being generated through any application, that should be stored in a database, right or wrong? So the very first cycle is storing the data into the database, right or wrong? So as a part of storing the data into the database, the very first thing that we need to understand is ORDBMS technology and its history that we have already seen. Means what is the history of database? Initially, the data is being stored as a physical format and later in the electronic spreadsheets, and then they have introduced something called a DBMS, and after that they have introduced something called a relational database management system, where they have initialized the relation between the tables, and then they have initialized something called ORDBMS, which is called the object oriented database management system, where they have identified a table as an object, weave as an object, synonym as an object, stored procedure as an object, something like this they have created, and they have made a relation between the objects, and they have called it as an object relational database management system. And now the examples of these database management systems are Oracle, MS SQL Server, and MySQL, and DB2S, etc. And now coming to the current day situation, managing of the very huge among us data is very much required. As a part of it, there are really various sources of generating this particular kind of data, and every business nowadays are very much data conscious, or very much data conscious. So hence they wanted to understand the data in a wide variety when, and also they wanted to process the data very faster. Hence they wanted to, that's why the big data was become a little bit famous about handling the data using the big data technologies like Hadoop, Scala, Spark, Hive, Mongo database, and the Cassandra database. Okay, and now, so hence the emergence of the NoSQL came into the place, like NoSQL databases are something like a schemaless, where you can use them in order to the way that how you want it, and also the faster processing of the data, which is going to give you the application efficiency very much. And also, so now let me tell you guys, see why the Facebook is little bit I mean is very faster. Okay, so Cassandra is the database which has been built by the Facebook internally. Okay, and once they have used and used and used in the year of 2010, I think, around. Okay, in the year of 2008 or 2010, they have given it as an open source to the entire world. Okay, and where the Apache Foundation has captured this Cassandra and they have renamed it as the Apache Cassandra. Okay, so this Cassandra is the database which was developed by the Facebook in the Facebook company. Okay, and also, so these are all the NoSQL databases generally. So now we understand the importance of the data, right or wrong? All of you understand the importance of the data, right? So all these things are generally, we understood that these are all related to the database, and now we have to understand how exactly a Tableau developer, okay, is required, where exactly this Tableau developer is going to be required. So guys, let us understand the entire IT industry. Okay, in IT industry, where exactly this Tableau developer can be placed. Understand, all of you, where exactly that we can work in this domain of Tableau developer. So when I'm talking about the in IT industry, what are all the designations related to data? Can you please list out them, by guys? So the very first thing is we need to understand the cycle. Okay, we need to understand the cycle, the data that is being generated. So can we try understanding this cycle, guys? Let me show you in a pictorial representation. So now take a look at this one. So that, guys, the very first thing is there is an application. Okay. Okay. And for that, we do have something called a database in the background. Okay. What is this? This is the database. Okay. So whatever the data, okay, whatever the data that is being captured from this application will be stored in the database. Right or wrong? So here we will be having two different roles within this database. What are those roles? Database developer, and another one is database administrator. Okay. So guys, can you please tell me why we need to store the data first of all? Can anyone tell me this answer? Why we need to store the data for any sort of application? Very basic question. Anyone? Exactly, Himanshu. For reporting the analysis, for reports and for analysis, and to know the customer. First of all, the very basic point is, for any business, see, let us think from the business perspective anytime. Okay, let us always think from the business perspective. Okay, I have a company now, I have online e-commerce company, okay, where I used to sell all the mobiles, only mobiles or electronic devices. So what I will concentrate on, when the data is being stored in the database, I need to know who are all the customers who are buying my products, and what are all the products which are being sold outside. Right or wrong? So as a part of it, I need to store the data. Storing the database is very much important for me, and storing them, so storing the entire data in a valid format is very much important. Hence I need the database developer and database administrator who can take care of the nice way of storing the data in the database. Understand? Now we have another environment that is called, what is that one, guys? We have something called here we have something called data warehouse technology. Okay, let me write down this one. Data warehouse. What is this data warehouse related, guys? So guys, I could say all Informatica developers, okay, and data stage developers and Cognos developers, okay, would come under this part. Okay, so what is the relation between the database and the data warehouse? Guys, all the historical data means I have a company since from the past 2 decades, 20 years. Okay, the current data, or for the current year, I will store it in my existing database, or maybe for the last 5 years, and rest of all the data that I may load into the data warehouse, which is going to be a past data. Okay, why I need to use the past data? In order to understand the trends of customers, how the customer is buying my product. Okay, in an year, at what time that my sales of my product is getting down. If I know that one, I can implement some offers and I can make the sales up. Understand, all of you? So likewise, all the data in the database you will be used to, store or gather in the data warehouse. So data warehouse will consist a large amount of data, historical data. Okay, so here, why we are storing all this data over here in this, for the analysis purposes. Understand? For the analyzing of the data. Hence, the Informatica developers or data stage developers or Cognos developers will come under this particular segment. Okay. The what about the next thing? Okay. The very next thing that we are going to come into the point is something. Okay. I'm talking about BI, business intelligence. Okay, so how could we say that this business intelligence, why these people are required? So guys, all the data analysis will be done by this business intelligence guys, with some sort of application of the statistics and statistical analysis. And what are all the technologies that we can see beyond this one? MSBI, Microsoft Business Intelligence, SAP BIBO, and you have many business intelligence tools, OBIEE, which is an Oracle one. Okay, all these things will comes under the business intelligence tools. Okay, so guys, now we could come to the very next level, which is called visualization tools. Okay, analysis and visualization tools. So how can we analyze this part? So guys, we have the couple of things in the market, out of which the leader in the market is Tableau and Power BI and QlikView. Okay, all these individual tools are the one that we can make use of for any sort of data analysis and creating the visualizations for the data. Okay, and we have one more thing that we can talk about is, which is called data science. Okay, this data science related technology will be used in order to work with machine learning. Okay, this data science is a field of study which includes the machine learning and artificial intelligence. Okay, and deep learning. Okay, all this kind of stuff. So did you get the valid idea, guys? Now these are all data related designations and only data related. Understand, all of you? So this is just for the sake of application, guys. You can understand this is just an application. Okay, this is an application. Okay, and this is how the entire so out of which, where are going to work with now? We are going to understand here we have something called a Tableau. So we are going to work with the Tableau developer. Do you have any questions, guys, so far? So far, whatever the discussion that I have made right now, do you have any questions so far? So now we also understood where exactly the Tableau developer in our daily project execution of any one particular part of application. Okay, whatever the application may be, whatever the e-commerce application, whatever the business application may be, that application might be related to the telecom, that application may be related to the hospitality, that application might be related to the automobile, whatever the industry it is related to completely. Okay, so now if you do have any questions, let me know. If not, then I will jump on to the another part. Are you all good so far? Then, guys, all of you, Shrikant, Himanshu, Vijay, Gaurav, you're all good. No questions. Okay. Picture perfect then. So now let me tell you. So guys, why the Tableau is very perfect in the industry. So guys, the Tableau is a tool. Of course, it's a wonderful tool which is holding a large market outside in the world, which is holding two different unique technologies with us. That is called SQL, and another one is in-memory data storage engine. So guys, when I'm talking about the in-memory data storage engine, we have two things. One is SQL and another one is in-memory data storage engine. So what do you mean by SQL? This is none other than visualization query language. So are we required to learn this one as a prerequisite to learn this Tableau? No. This visualization query language is the one which was created internally for the Tableau in order to create the visualizations for the inputs that we are trying to give it. Our inputs will be either SQL, otherwise it would be drag and drop. Understand? So now here, whenever you wanted to do any sort of data analysis, this is the process. So the very first thing is, guys, this is the standard process for any sort of tool, for any sort of software. The very first thing is that what exactly that you're going to do. The very first thing is data loading or data extraction. Okay, or you can call it as data loading. Number two, so in this data loading we will have many other parts like connecting to the data source. Okay, all this kind of stuff. So once after the do the data loading, cleaning the data. Number three, analyzing the data. Number four, creating the visualizations for the analyzed data. Understand, guys? The four parts in the processing of the data within the Tableau is depending upon four different steps, that is the data loading, cleaning the data, analyzing the data, and creating the visualization for the data. And now the second thing that we do have in our understanding is in-memory data storage engine. This in-memory data storage engine is none other than a storage which was stored in the memory. Okay, whenever you load the data, okay, what happens? The Tableau will try to store that data in the memory so that it will be very faster for it to access the data and to show you the visualizations. Okay, so hence the Tableau can process the data very much faster, not only in terms of the in-memory data storage engine, but also visualization query language, which is a very quite efficient programming language, which was done by the Tableau internally, where we are not required to learn about it. Rather, we are going to give a very few inputs about the visualization query language in order to create the beautiful visualizations for us. So this visualization query language, which is running in the internal components of the Tableau, okay, based upon your inputs, whatever that you are trying to drag and drop the entities onto the panels, whatever it is that we are going to use in the Tableau, and where you are going to generate the visualization based upon that. Understand, all of you? Guys, so far any questions? No. Okay. So this is what so far that I have thought of sharing with you right now. Can I go ahead with some question and answers, so that tomorrow we are going to work on the Tableau software by opening it up, and I will show you the important components in the Tableau and how they need to be understood. Okay, so before the tomorrow session, so let me just go ahead and ask you the questions. Are you all ready for the questions right now, guys? For whatever that we have discussed right now? So can you please tell me what is an example of a NoSQL database? Mayuri, excellent. Cassandra. Any more? MongoDB. Right, Maharshi. Very good, Maharshi. Santosh, very good. Exactly. In memory means data is going to store in the RAM. So guys, for your understanding, Spark is not the database. Scala is not the database. Hive is the database, that is fine. Big data is not a database. Okay, I'm asking you the example of NoSQL database. Okay, when I'm asking you the example of the NoSQL database, okay, big data is a technology, it is not a database, it's a field of study. Okay, and Spark is not a database, Hive is not a database, Hadoop is a database, Hive is the database. Okay, Hive, HBase, Hadoop, we can consider as a databases, no issues. SAP HANA is not a NoSQL database, guys. Okay. So very good. My next question. Can you please tell me an example of the RDBMS database? Santosh, very good. Oracle, right. Teradata, very good. MSBI, Oracle, SQL Server, right. Very good, very good. My very next question. Can you please tell me any one designation which will comes under the BI? BI developer, I already told you it is BI. DBA will never comes under the BI. SAP BI BO, MSBI, these things will comes under that one. See, take a look at this paint. I don't know why you are not following this part. I have clearly mentioned for the business intelligence, you can see the MSBI, SAP, SAP BI BO, and OBIE. I have clearly explained you what are all the designations over here. But still you are telling DBA and Tableau developer. Okay, now let me go ahead and ask you one more. Can you tell me any one designation related to the data warehousing? Santosh, good. Informatica developer or Cognos developer. Excellent. Nawaz Ali. Good. Good. Harshal. Madhu. Good. 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 Can you please tell me any one technology related? Someone is telling Hadoop and Spark. Hadoop and Spark is not related with this part, at least at this point of time. Okay. At this point of time, based upon what I have listed over there, Hadoop and Spark, let us not consider over here. Okay. As a part of data warehousing. Okay. Fine. Can you name any one technology or something under the data science? One designation. AI, machine learning engineer, AI developer, okay, and deep learning expert. All these things comes under the data science. Can you please tell me any one designation related to the database? Excellent. Database administrator. Excellent. Excellent. Really good. Really good. So I'm going to ask you one more question, guys. Be ready. Can you tell me what exactly do you mean by VisQL? What exactly that do you mean by VisQL? Okay, guys. Okay, okay. It's a visualization query language. It's a visualization query language. Excellent. Everyone has, yeah, everyone has done really good. Thank you. Okay, see, guys, let us keep in the same phase. Okay, and we will do more in the tomorrow session. Okay, we will do something practical in the tomorrow session. Okay, all of you. See you all. Thank you. Thanks for attending, guys. All of you. Really, really energetic discussion with you all guys today. Thank you. See you. Bye.